Hey guys, Dalton here with NerdyRaptor. We're just getting done with the Fantasy Flight in-flight presentation, which is just they show you everything they've been doing, what's coming up, what to be excited about. Kind of a big hype session, but not necessarily. One of the big things they announced was for Android. They're getting their next deluxe edition. It's going to be called, I don't remember what I called it. I live tweeted it. It's on there. But it's going to be focusing on the Anarch faction for the runners, and for the corporation, we're going to be getting Wayland support. Pretty interesting combination, just with the way those two play. Honestly, the big takeaway from this has got to be Star Wars. Like, everything about it. Like, the LCG, the RPG. The RPG's finally got its third, because when they announced it, they were going to do 3 RPGs, all Star Wars. Force and Destiny, the beta is here at GenCon. The game will be releasing in 2015. Huge. It's all about the Force, so we finally have every archetype you could want for the Star Wars RPG available. They've got the LCG, they didn't touch on it as much. There's a bunch of stuff coming out that they didn't need to touch on, but the huge thing is for X-Wing. So Wave 6 has been announced. Wave 5 is already here. It comes out in October, so if you haven't got a chance to pick it up from Gen Con or eBay, it will be available. Not too long from now. You have to wait a couple months. So all your cool friends who went to Gen Con or eBay are going to be kicking your butt with that stuff. But Wave 6 is a completely new faction. There is nothing available for, well, there's upgrades, but there's no Imperial or Rebel support. It is Scum and Villainy. We're going to see Prince Zizor from Shadows of the Empire, so we're going to see kind of a fully fledged out Shadows of the Empire thing. Stepping on that same note, we have the IG-2000 with IG-88 piloted. We also have a few other ships. I can't remember them off the top of my head. They're kind of obscure for the most part. But there's also something called the Most Wanted box. It's going to be a $30 box, kind of like your Rebel Aces or your Imperial Aces. But it's going to have a modified Y-Wing and another fighter, which is cool. It's another modified Z95. Both the Rebels can use the upgrades for that. But the big draw for that is it includes conversion cards for the Fire Spray and the HWK. So one of the big complaints I know I had with the idea of a third faction is, yeah, it was going to be Scum and Villainy more than likely, unless they got abstract. But people want to know, like, Boba Fett's already in the game. The HWK is already in the game. Those are already mercenary ships. What are they going to do? So they kind of answered that question. You're going to be getting different cards. Now, I don't know what the conversion cards are. Hopefully they're just different pilots. Hopefully there's a way to get like all those bounty hunters working for Scum and Villainy, because that's where they really belong. I mean, yeah, Vader's got deep pockets, but there's nothing better than being a freelancer. They also announced more stuff for Armada. Armada is going to be $100 base. It is retailing next year. It is going to have a huge Wave 1. It's going to have the Tantive, the Nebulon B, and the Star Destroyer, the Victory class that we saw. It's also going to have a Gladiator class Star Destroyer, an Assault Frigate for the Rebels. God, once again, I tweeted this all. There's so much information, guys. Like, check out our Twitter. I'll be putting up an article to accompany this. They also announced that they're going to do Rebel Squadron fighter squadrons and Imperial fighter squadrons. And it wasn't just going to be like, oh, here's a bunch of X-Wings, here's a bunch of TIE fighters. It's going to be mixed arms. So you're going to get TIE fighters, B-Wings, X-Wings, Y-Wings, interceptors, bombers, all these just from that. And just whenever you're thinking, okay, well, there can't be that much more for Star Wars, there is. They announced another game called Star Wars Imperial Assault that uses the mechanics of Descent, so it's got that great narrative RPG that you can do. Also is going to be a fully competitive and supported competitive miniatures game. Once again, retails next year as well. It's going to get all the same surprise support and everything that the current games get, which is, I mean, Fantasy Flight is just expanding. Like, if you're looking for a horse to back, this is the conceptual horse to back. Let's see. They announced the next couple packs coming out for Warhammer 40k Conquest. Releasing, well, we got a few copies here. It'll be releasing in a few weeks. XCOM, they did a huge thing about. They talked about why they went with the digital integration, which is, I mean, I actually really appreciated it. A lot of people have been complaining that it requires a tablet or an iPhone or anything like that. But the way they were talking about it, like, they weren't doing it as a gimmick. They were doing it to truly enhance the game and make it better. Oh, and one X-Wing thing I forgot, because seriously, there was lots. Like, I could probably go on for the next few minutes just on X-Wing. They announced a free application that you'll be able to use that will let you build squads, track your collections, just everything for iOS and Android. You just have to have a Fantasy Flight account, which is free, so there's really no loss here. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. It was just so much. The Witcher board game we've seen. was closely developed with CD Projekt Red, which is a huge thing because that's their baby. So having them on hands with that kind of game is huge. Really, that's about it. Imperial players, do not worry. They said several times, nothing directly, that your huge ship is coming, so don't fret. You'll be getting something to have me blow up with my Tandem Force soon. But other than that, that was the in-flight presentation, and it was a hell of a one, too. So definitely check out all the footage we've got of it. We've got a bunch of great pictures. Like I said, live tweeted the whole thing, so we'll have coverage. You will have no questions. So that's it for Dalton here at GenCon, and be check out the rest of our content.